Welcome to another episode of Mere Finance. Today we're going to talk about Trump, BRICS, Treasuries, default, and the behavior of the USD dollar, and how all the paths just show that gold is the next safe haven until the currencies start behaving more appropriately. So let's start. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see all the videos and all the content that we provide. So Donald Trump, the president elected, he just issued the following statement, basically threatening the BRICS countries. So those countries that are aligned with a different view, economically and politically speaking, to the West, and because they're basically trying to create their own currency or at least trade in something that is not the US dollar. So what's the issue? Trump said we require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs. And they should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful US economy. We know that the US is the biggest importer of the world, one of the biggest consumers. So without that market, countries will struggle. But why is Trump so confident on being able to levy 100% tax? What's the power behind the US dollar that really can make him use that as a leverage? So most of the foreign national debt, so when a country issues debt to finance its projects, social infrastructure, or to just repay past projects, they usually issue it in the dollar-denominated rate. So other countries, other institutions can just buy it and trade it, so it's better. So the US is creating a dollar shortage, so nations are forced to sell US Treasuries below face value for dollars. Currently, the total face value is 27 trillion. So if nations don't obtain dollars, they will default on their own debt. In other words, say I'm country XYZ, I issue $100 million in debt in the USD. I have to repay interest in dollars. If I don't have dollars, if there is a dollar shortage, I'm going to go and try to sell treasuries, because I also bought some treasuries from the US government in order to regain dollars. And because that pressure, as the dollar becomes short, I need those dollars to repay my debt. If not, I'm going to default, and that's going to be a big issue. So Yellen was questioned about China in 2023 about suddenly dumping almost $900 billion in treasuries due to war. But the US is already prepared for this event, which is why they are able to restrict the dollar supply by destroying crypto exchanges when they raise rates. Also, most of the capital of the world tends to go to the US dollar, right? If the rates are up, usually means other countries will have to raise rates higher proportionally to make up for the risk premium. And there's also like 2.5 trillion in reverse repo waiting to just contain any movement in the financial market. So this is the plan. Raising rates is the biggest weapon because that creates a dollar shortage. And when everyone is forced to sell US dollars, then the US will just buy it below face value. Yes, they're going to buy their own treasuries so they can, again, lower the interest. This is what Japan has been doing, and it has working well for them. They contain in debt. So these are the steps. So there is a credit downgrade in the US, so nations dump US treasuries. That already happened. Rapidly raise rates. That happened last year as well. Restrict swap lines causing dollar shortage. That'll happen as well. Stage an incident. We're still thinking about that. Dollar skyrockets, right? Because everyone goes into the dollar to try to save, not only to repay their debt, but also as a safe haven. Then the panic spreads to the financial system. Nations collapse because they don't have enough dollar. They cannot repay debt. The lines of credit are completely untapped. And then the US will just print trillions of dollars and buy cheap debt And then the Great Reset, the US comes up again. I think that's what Trump might think when imposing 100% tariffs and when he's going to create a shortage of the US dollar. This is how he can definitely threaten those countries. But at the end goal, the investment philosophy here, because this is a little more political and also is a little speculation, the main point of this video is that gold and silver become the last safe haven because kills the Federal Reserve systems. Gold, there is cannot be shortage. Gold is not manipulated. Gold doesn't really have a policy of restrictive or inflationary. Gold is simply there to act as a safe haven. We understand, of course, that interest rates and the dollar movement affect gold as well. So if there is a shortage of dollars, well, actually gold will increase. So I think gold is the answer in case Trump just starts playing a little rough with the BRICS countries. And there is some lessons out there when there is dollar shortage. This is not new. The Asian financial crisis in the 1990s is the same dollar shortage pressure that the US had. That's a terrible one. In Mexico too, in 1994. Look at the international reserves of the Central Bank of Mexico in 1994 just collapsed. And because it collapsed, they couldn't peg their peso to the dollar. And then the whole thing just collapsed. The Mexican peso collapsed over 60% in 1 year. The Mexican economy went into a dive because of dollar shortage. And look in Argentina as well, 2001, at the peak of the worst crisis there in Argentina, also because the pension funds collapsed and then there was no US dollars. Basically, the system blew up until today. The Javier Milei in Argentina is trying to still make some structural changes that will save the Argentina. So this happens across nations. This happened 20, 30 years ago, so this could happen again. I think that's why Donald Trump is so confident that he's going to be able to levy tariffs or at least make BRICS think twice before issuing a new currency on which they can trade. So let us know what you think. We also think Saudi Arabia is the key component. If Saudi Arabia doesn't want to sell in US dollars, then that will be an issue because they control oil. But at the same time, they need to have a big market. China and the US are the biggest markets. So maybe Saudi Arabia through oil could affect Trump, but we'll see. For now, I think Trump's threat is based on historical, economical, and political reality, and the threat that every single foreign debt is issued in US dollars. So let us know what you think and have a great day.